Could AI replace your child's teacher? Or you as a parent? I asked this question not just out of curiosity, but out of real-life urgency. So I put it to the test, and what I found was unsettling, powerful, and maybe even hopeful. This wasn't about proving a point. It was about challenging one of the most important relationships we have with our children, the role of guidance, care, and human connection in a tech-driven world. Welcome back to Mentor's Mindset. Let's get one thing clear, I'm not here to bash teachers or parents, and I'm definitely not here to sell you another app promising to raise your child for you. This was an experiment, a real one. For 1 week, I allowed AI tools to take over 3 major roles in my child's life. 1, academic tutor. 2, daily guidance, emotional coaching. 3, routine management, behavioral boundaries. Here's what I used. ChatGPT and Khanmigo for tutoring, AI journaling tools with emotional prompts, a smart schedule and reminders system, Google plus Alexa. And here's what I observed. What made this interesting wasn't just the tools, it was the rules. I stepped back as much as possible and let the AI run the show. I monitored emotional changes, learning outcomes, resistance levels, and of course, moments when the human touch still had to step in. And I want to be honest, I went in optimistic. I thought maybe tech could help us be better parents or educators, but what I learned was more layered than that. First up, education. AI crushed times tables. It explained long division better than I could after a long workday. It even made Shakespeare sound fun, but here's the catch. There was no real feedback loop, no.
Well done. I can see you tried really hard on this one.
No encouragement when frustration was setting in, and worse, no adaptation when my child zoned out or needed a brain break. Notice how long they stay focused before disengaging. It felt a bit like having an expert robot in the room, great at facts, bad at feelings. AI doesn't notice slumped shoulders or that blank stare that means I've mentally checked out. It can't say.
Let's take a break.
Or offer praise when your child finally gets it after 3 wrong attempts. And then there's the nuance. A real teacher might say,
"You've got the right idea, just tweak this part."
the AI just says,
Incorrect. Try again.
functional, yes, encouraging, not always. Teachers don't just transfer knowledge. They sense, they adjust. They spot the unspoken tired eyes, hidden tears, or that one look that says, I'm lost. So yes, AI teaches, but it doesn't teach you, it just gives answers. Next, I tried AI for emotional check-ins. I gave my child journaling prompts each night, guided by AI, things like,
What made you feel proud today? Did anything upset you? What's something you wish you could change?
The response is fascinating, insightful, sometimes deep, but again, no warmth, no emotional mirroring. AI response,
Thank you for sharing. It's good to express your feelings.
parent response.
I'm proud of you for noticing that. Want to talk about it more?
AI created a container for reflection, but not connection. There's a reason children crave bedtime stories, not bedtime scripts. They want a witness to their world. And more than that, they want someone who remembers. AI doesn't remember yesterday's sadness or last week's proud moment. Each interaction is a fresh start, which sounds good in theory, but in practice, it feels like talking to a stranger every single night. I noticed my child journaling less emotionally by day 4. Why? Because no one was really listening. AI was responding, but not connecting. And kids, even the ones who say they're fine, they know the difference. Routine was the only area where AI came close to being truly helpful. Reminders, to-do lists even, kind voice nudges like,
Hey, it's time to brush your teeth.
or,
Great job completing your homework.
but boundaries. Consequences, AI doesn't do that. No matter how many clever automations I built, it still took me a human to hold the line, to set limits, to explain why it matters, to say,
Because I love you, not because I'm trying to ruin your life.
AI can instruct, but it doesn't carry relational authority. I tried everything, screen lock timers, reward-based reminders, even behavior prompts like,
Would a 5-minute break help you return to your homework?
none of it worked unless I reinforced it. AI gave structure, but not conviction. And conviction in parenting is everything. Kids don't just listen to what's said. They watch how it's said, who says it, and why. AI doesn't offer tone, emotion, or even accountability. Here's something I didn't expect to wrestle with during this experiment. Values. Can AI actually teach them? Sure, it can define kindness, it can list ethical principles, it can even explain empathy, generosity, honesty in stunning Wikipedia-grade detail. But here's the problem, it doesn't model them. Kids don't learn values through explanation, they learn by imitation. They learn how to say sorry when they hear you apologize sincerely. They learn patience when they watch you wait without complaining. They learn how to treat others by seeing how you treat them and how you speak about the driver who just cut you off in traffic. I asked AI to help my child write an apology note to a friend. It was articulate, polite, but it felt like a corporate PR statement. There was no ownership, no sense of, I know I hurt you, and that matters to me. Values aren't intellectual. They're relational. AI can help us talk about values, but it doesn't care about them. It doesn't model vulnerability. It doesn't live with the consequences of getting it wrong. And here's the scary part. If we lean too heavily on AI, kids might start believing that morality is just another algorithm, a formula to follow, not a responsibility to feel. Do we really want our children learning that being good is about getting the right output rather than understanding someone else's pain? Values live in nuance, in tone and in timing, and that's something AI, at least for now, cannot replicate. So no, AI can't teach your child how to be a better person. Only you can do that, and they're watching you more than you think. If these insights are resonating with you, make sure to subscribe or join the Mentors Mindset community. We're building a space for people who think deeply, care fully, and want to raise the next generation with wisdom and intention. Midweek, something happened. My child got upset after school. A friend had been unkind, and when I asked, "Did you tell the AI journal how that felt?" They said, "Yeah, but it didn't really help." That hit me, so we sat down. I listened. No solutions, just listening. I offered a hug. We sat in silence for a bit. That was the moment I realized AI can simulate a lot, but it can't hold space. It doesn't breathe with you. It doesn't frown when your child's lip quivers. It doesn't whisper, "I know that hurt." It doesn't squeeze their hand or pull them into a lap or say, "I've been through this too." That's the invisible magic of parenting, the silent, sacred, slow moments. AI is efficient, but healing isn't. Growth isn't. Grief isn't. In that moment, I realized my child didn't need advice. They needed presence. AI had no idea how to give that. Let's be fair, here's where AI works: academic reinforcement, organization, encouraging reflection, supplementing overstretched systems. But here's what it can't replace: trust, empathy, moral modeling, the emotional echo of being truly seen. We don't just raise children through words, we raise them through presence, through being there when they're messy, marvelous, moody, or magical. AI has no favorite stories, no shared history, no inside jokes. It doesn't remember the smell of your baby blanket or the name of their first pet or how hard they worked to tie their shoes. It can't recall your child's dreams or protect them. It's helpful, but hollow. It's fast, but not full. So what now? AI isn't the villain. It's not trying to steal your parenting badge or push teachers out of classrooms. It's a tool, and like any tool, how we use it determines its impact. Let's use AI to free up time from admin, offer personalized academic support, give struggling parents breathing room, help neurodivergent children find consistent structures. Let's use it to extend care, not replace it. Let's use it to reduce burnout, not remove bonding. Let's use it to empower teachers and parents, not edge them out. But let's never forget, the soul of teaching, the soul of parenting is relationship, and relationship can't be automated. If you're a parent, teacher, or someone who cares about the next generation, here's the takeaway: AI can support. It cannot substitute. It's not about fearing the future, it's about choosing who leads in it. We don't need to compete with AI. We need to compete for connection in an increasingly distracted world, because the truth is AI isn't taking our kids away from us. Distraction is, exhaustion is, convenience is, and if we're not intentional, we won't even notice the shift. We'll still be in the room, but we'll have outsourced all the good stuff. All the awkward, sacred, boring, beautiful stuff that builds connection over time. The bedtime questions, the difficult talks, the hugs after meltdowns, the I forgive you moments, the I see you even when you fail moments. These are what children remember. Not whether you programmed the reminders on time, not whether the homework was explained in record speed. but whether you were there, really there. So maybe the question isn't, can AI replace us? Maybe the better question is, are we showing up in a way that can't be replaced? Because the answer to that, that's the kind of legacy only a human can leave behind. And honestly, maybe it's not about AI doing more. Maybe it's about us remembering what we do best. You're not just raising a child, you're building a bond. One bedtime chat, one tear wiped, one laugh at a time. That can't be downloaded, it has to be lived. If this video resonated with you, share it, start a conversation, and drop a comment below. Would you trust AI to mentor your child? Why or why not? If you felt seen by this or challenged by it, don't just scroll on. Subscribe, comment, and join Mentors Mindset today. We're not just reacting to the future, we're shaping it together. What if you handed over your entire personality to a machine? I did. And what it revealed about me changed everything. AI got weirdly accurate and, well, deeply wrong. This wasn't just some tech experiment, it was a full-on identity audit. And honestly, I wasn't ready. In this episode, I let AI define who I am, my values, my habits, my flaws, and my story. You'll learn what it got right, what it misunderstood, and what this experiment reveals about how we build identity in the digital age. We'll explore the psychology behind digital personas, how much we unconsciously perform online, and the danger of believing a reflection that does not fully belong to us. Welcome back to Mentors Mindset. I started with a simple prompt. ChatGPT, who am I? It replied with a question in return, a philosophical one, so I pushed it further. Based on what I post, what I say, and how I think, build a full identity for me. Then I fed it everything I could think of, my social media content, a journal entry, my favorite quotes, a voice memo where I ranted about life. Finally, I asked it to write my life story in the style of a Netflix docudrama. That's when things took a turn. I wanted to see if a machine could do what therapists, friends, and even I sometimes struggle to do. Could it see the full picture? Not just the curated version, not just the polished responses, but the contradictions, the flaws, and the hidden intentions. I included content from different moods and moments, not just highlights, but my lowest, most confused voice notes. I wanted AI to taste the full flavor of my internal world. Here's what it wrote.
You are a paradox, a people pleaser with a rebellious core. You crave peace, but often stir the pot. Not to start fights, but to awaken minds.
I paused. Was that accurate? Because yes, I do stir the pot. But I also long for quiet. Then it added,
You believe in justice, but sometimes struggle with self-righteousness. You mentor others, but secretly battle your own sense of direction.
Now I was sweating. AI wasn't just describing me, it was surfacing the parts I usually keep hidden. Comment below what you think AI would say about you. AI wasn't finished with me. It began throwing out curveballs.
Your favorite food is tofu.
Absolutely not.
You wake up at 5 a.m. to journal.
Please, no.
You listen to Taylor Swift before big meetings.
All right, maybe once. Let's move on. What struck me was how confidently it made these assumptions. It didn't hesitate. AI does not say, maybe. It says, this is who you are. That kind of certainty is powerful, and it can also be dangerous, because if you're in a vulnerable season, if you're lost or searching, it is easy to believe anything that sounds poetic or profound, even if it is off. And to be honest, part of me wanted it to be right. I was hoping this machine could hand me clarity, but instead it gave me a mix of emotional truths and bizarre guesses. It felt like being psychoanalyzed by a very confident stranger with a mild obsession with soy-based diets. This experiment made me question what identity truly is. Is identity based on what we say we are, or is it formed by what people observe about us? Or perhaps it's what we choose to perform online? Because when AI described me, it pulled from my digital self, the version I curate. So then I asked a deeper question. Can AI see the parts I hide? This is where it got uncomfortable. The AI began to guess. It said,
You struggle with needing to be needed. You fear success almost as much as you fear failure. You use humor to avoid being emotionally exposed.
I didn't know whether I should applaud it or shut it down. It felt like the AI had been reading my private thoughts, the ones I have only hinted at between jokes or late-night messages to trusted friends. This made me realize how much of ourselves leaks out even when we think we are being guarded. Our tone, our contradictions, the inconsistencies in what we share, they form data trails. AI simply follows the scent. It also made me wonder, if AI can pick up on my fears and emotional defenses through pattern recognition, what does that say about the people I interact with every day? Are they seeing through me too? Have I been hiding, or have I just been hoping no one would name what they already see? AI functions like a mirror. Though not a flawless one, it reflects whatever we feed it. It also tends to amplify patterns we might not see all that clearly. Here's what I noticed. It exaggerated my ambition. It minimized my emotional fatigue. It assumed confidence where I actually felt confused. Why did that happen? Because online I rarely share the moments of doubt. And maybe you're the same. That got me thinking. What happens when everyone feeds these curated versions of themselves into AI and then believes the results? This leads to an identity shaped by algorithms, reflection generated by software, validation offered by a hallucinating machine. AI does not reflect your soul, it reflects your patterns. And if your patterns are shaped by trauma, people-pleasing, or constant performance, then that is what it will mirror, but it wraps it up in poetic language. It is like putting a mask on a mirror and being surprised that your reflection looks like a character instead of a person. And here is the bigger problem. If enough people start outsourcing their reflection to AI, we could end up with a generation that defines itself through feedback loops based on curated highlights and digital illusions. If this is hitting different, smash that like button. Here's the real concern. AI can tell you who you sound like, it can suggest who you act like or how you appear online. But it cannot tell you who you truly are because, the deepest parts of identity are not data points. They're emotions. When we hand over the task of self-understanding to machines, we risk forgetting how to listen to our own inner voice. That voice quietly says, "You're not a brand, you are a becoming." Your identity is not an output, it is a process, a living, breathing evolution shaped by pain, joy, failure, healing, and a million unseen moments that no AI will ever understand. We already live in a world where people ask, "What's my aesthetic?" more than they ask, "What's my purpose?" And I get it. We want clarity. Labels feel safe, algorithms feel authoritative, but your identity was never meant to be downloaded. It is something you grow into, not something you get from a prompt. Here's what I took away from this experience. AI is insightful, but not intimate. It gave me accurate labels, but it couldn't feel what those labels mean to me. My digital self is incomplete. What I post is part of who I am, but it isn't everything. My flaws aren't defects to be corrected. They are part of the code that makes me human. AI might help write a better biography, but only I can write my full story. This experience helped me see myself more clearly, not because the AI knew me better, but because it forced me to reflect more honestly. The process mattered more than the product. The AI's words were not profound because they were correct. They mattered because they made me ask, why do I present myself this way? Who am I when no one is watching? It was less about the machine knowing me and more about me asking better questions. So here's a challenge you can try. Screenshot your AI results and tag me. I'll react to the best ones. Open ChatGPT or maybe another AI tool if you like. Feed it your bio, a voice memo, or even, an emotional journal entry. Then ask, who am I to you? When it responds, pause and reflect. What feels true? What feels superficial? What feels like an identity you've outgrown? And then turn the question inward. Who am I to myself? Who am I becoming? Because real identity doesn't come from recognition. It grows from intention. Not what others reflect, but what you choose to build. Also ask yourself, what have I been pretending to be and why? Sometimes it is not about discovering who you are, it is about removing everything you are not. AI might help you start that journey, but it should never define the destination. Letting AI write my identity was never about seeking truth. It was about, exploring the gap between perception and reality. That contrast actually gave me clarity. It showed me where I've been performative, where I've been hiding, and where I've actually grown. If you've ever felt lost, if you've ever tried to reinvent yourself online, if you've ever started believing the version of yourself you curated, here's your reminder. You are not a prompt, you are a person. You are worthy of discovery. Take your time. You are allowed to evolve. You're allowed to shed the old versions of yourself. You are allowed to rewrite everything AI got wrong, and even some things you got wrong. If this video made you reflect on who you are, or how AI might be shaping your sense of self, hit subscribe because I'm not done experimenting, and next time you'll want to see how that goes. Join the Mentors Mindset community. We're not just building followers here, we are building self-aware humans. Drop a comment below. If AI wrote your identity, what would it get completely wrong and what might it get uncomfortably right? Let's talk about it. So I asked AI to help fix my mindset, it said.
Let's start by being open-minded.
And then I said, how about you be open-minded to the fact that I'm not changing? The team at Mentors Mindset has a great mix of strengths, and we all bring something different to the table. One team member, known for their strong sense of stubbornness, even explored whether AI might offer a fresh perspective how to shift their mindset. Just out of curiosity, of course, this is their take on it. In today's video, I'm putting AI head-to-head with the immovable object known as me, a very stubborn, occasionally emotionally unavailable, mildly sarcastic individual. What you'll learn today: why your mindset might be more stubborn than helpful. What AI gets right and hilariously wrong about changing human behavior. And how to shift your mindset without becoming someone you don't even recognize. And most importantly, how to laugh at yourself while doing all of the above, because healing without humor is just homework. Welcome back to Mentors Mindset. Let's clear something up. I'm not stubborn, I'm loyal to my perspective. Sure, I've had the same argument with my best friend for over 20 years, and yes, I still use the same ringtone from 2002. But that's not stubbornness, that's tradition.
Would you like help challenging a limiting belief today?
No thanks, I've grown very attached to my limitations. We cuddle at night. Limiting beliefs, still a better love story than Twilight. Honestly, most of my beliefs have tenure. They've been around so long they think they're professors. I don't even remember choosing them. They were just always there, like the smell of toast in the kitchen or the sound of my gran shouting at the telly when someone tries to challenge them. I don't hear, "Let's evolve," I hear, "Abandon everything you've ever known." No, thank you. I thought ChatGPT would hype me up like a best friend. Instead, it hit me with this.
It sounds like you might be avoiding discomfort to protect your self-image.
Excuse me? Who invited Freud to the group chat? The AI thinks I'm avoiding growth, but I say I'm not avoiding growth. I'm just committed to consistency. Even if that consistency involves self-sabotage, I genuinely hope not.
What makes you feel most resistant to change?
The fact that you asked me that question, I expected motivational quotes, you know? You got this! Keep shining! Instead, I got,
Let's explore your avoidant coping mechanisms.
listen, Robot Gandalf, I didn't come here to be exposed. I came for vibes. It's wild how polite the AI is while absolutely dragging your soul across the carpet. It says things like,
There's no judgment here.
right before it suggests I have deep abandonment wounds masked as independence. So then I tried a reflective exercise, speak to your inner child, AI says.
Imagine 7-year-old you is sitting beside you. What would you say?
Oh no, that kid still holds a grudge because I didn't let us pursue sports. Turns out my inner child is also stubborn and sarcastic. The apple didn't fall far. He looked at me with arms folded and said,
So we're still pretending we're fine, huh?
oh, I said, don't start. He said,
We could have been traveling around the world right now as a celebrity or even an influencer, but you chose math homework and mediocrity.
and that's the thing about inner work. It's not always peaceful. Sometimes it's just sitting with an earlier version of yourself and explaining why you abandoned all the dreams they had and trying not to cry while doing it. But beneath the jokes, there was a moment, a pause, where I realized, wow, I've been stubborn not just to others, but to my younger self, to what I actually wanted. And honestly, that's when I realized most of our so-called stubbornness is just fear in disguise, fear of failure, fear of being wrong, fear of becoming someone we don't recognize. Here's a fun fact. I can rationalize anything, absolutely anything. Example, maybe I don't need to change. The world just needs to accept my flaws like an IKEA return policy. AI, bless its digital heart, doesn't give up. It goes,
Reframing your thoughts might support emotional growth.
cool. Or I can just blame Mercury retrograde and order pizza.
You may be projecting.
No, I'm reflecting with conviction. Truth is, we build entire palaces around our discomfort zones. We decorate them, we put fairy lights up and call it self-acceptance. But really, it's just fear in a better outfit. But beneath the jokes, there's truth. We negotiate with reality when we feel powerless to change it. So sometimes stubbornness is just a secret cry for control. Growth is like the gym. You say you're going, you buy the outfit. Then your mindset says, let's just sit in the car park and scroll Instagram. AI workout plan.
5 reps of self-awareness. 3 sets of uncomfortable truths. Finish with a protein shake of emotional regulation.
Meanwhile, I'm doing reps of denial, avoidance, and overthinking. My emotional flexibility is about as tight as my hamstrings, and just like stretching, it hurts in places I didn't know existed. Every time I try a growth habit, my brain goes, we tried that once back in 2016, it was awkward, let's never speak of it again. Here's the real issue, I don't like being told what to do. Not by AI, not by people, not even by the facts. Just because it's true doesn't mean I have to believe it, that's called independence. Truth is, facts feel like insults when you're not ready. Someone says, you might be stuck in a pattern, and my first instinct is to say, so's my face. It's not that I can't change, it's that I want it to feel like my idea, which is tricky when an algorithm gets there before I do. But maybe the truth isn't an enemy, it's a mirror, and sometimes the mirror is brutal, especially if you haven't slept and your reflection says, this is who you're arguing on behalf of. Touché reflection, touché. Look, I know change isn't easy, especially when being stubborn has been a survival tool. It helped me protect myself. Prove myself. Sometimes it was all I had. When life gets unpredictable, your mindset becomes your armor. Even if it weighs you down, at least it's yours. But the same mindset that once kept me safe now keeps me stuck. And maybe, just maybe, AI didn't come to fight me. Maybe it came to partner with me. And maybe, deep down, I'm ready. Not to become someone else, but to finally become someone honest. Because you know what's stronger than stubbornness? Self-awareness with a sense of humor. You ever notice how sometimes you enjoy being stuck? I mean, not in a healthy way, but in that. At least I know how this story ends kind of way. There's a strange comfort in struggling. You know it, you can predict it, you've built jokes around it, you've built an identity around it. You tell your friends, oh, I'm just like this, and they laugh, and now you're entertaining your trauma. I started to realize maybe part of me was addicted to my own sabotage. Not because I love suffering, but because success would force me to change the narrative. And changing the narrative means rewriting how I see myself. AI says,
Try visualizing what it would feel like to actually succeed.
and my brain said 404 error, image not found, because we talk about fear of failure all the time. But fear of success, that one's sneakier. It's the voice that says, if you succeed, everyone will expect it from you and you'll mess it up. So we stay stuck, because stuck is predictable, and predictable feels safe, but safety and joy aren't the same thing. Reflection. I realized my stubbornness wasn't just about being right. It was about clinging to the identity of the struggler, the underdog, the one who fights alone. But what if I'm allowed to win, even if I don't struggle first? So what's the takeaway, you asked? Well, I didn't let AI win, but I did listen. And in the process, I realized this: your mindset isn't your enemy, but it is like an old roommate that needs a few house rules. Here are the 3 simple rules. Rule number 1, no yelling. That's just how I am past midnight. Rule 2, if you're going to doubt yourself, at least be creative about it. Rule 3, growth is allowed to feel weird, and maybe you don't need a total personality overhaul, just a little editing. So the next time someone or something challenges your mindset, before you say, nah, I'm good, ask yourself, what if this discomfort is the beginning of an upgrade? Thanks for watching AI versus my stubborn mindset. If you laughed, learned, or argued with me in your head, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. What's the most ridiculous belief you refuse to let go of? Mine, that I could have been a ninja if I just committed. Join the Mentors Mindset community, where being stubborn is fine as long as you're stubborn about healing too. And if you see AI recommending breathing exercises, just remember it's not judging you. It's just politely suggesting you stop spiraling. Growth doesn't mean changing who you are. It means becoming less afraid of who you've always been. So if AI helped me see that, even a little, then maybe this whole battle was worth it. See you next time. I didn't go to therapy. I went to a chatbot, and I didn't expect it to get this deep. Yeah, I know, it sounds ridiculous. Therapy from an AI, like what's next? Robot Reiki. But hear me out. After spending 7 emotionally intense days chatting with an algorithm, I've either become more self-aware or I've officially trauma-bonded with a toaster. One of those is progress. The other is a Pixar short waiting to happen. I've been wrestling with some inner chaos, anxiety, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, the greatest hits, and something in me thought, what if I asked ChatGPT for help, not to replace therapy, not to replace humans, but to experiment to see if artificial intelligence could offer genuine emotional insight? And spoiler alert, it did, but not in the way I expected. Welcome back to Mentor's Mindset. Today, I'm taking you through a full week where I used AI as my therapist. The raw conversations, the emotional breakthroughs, the unsettling moments, and yes, the ethical grey areas. Stick around. This isn't about the tech, this is about you. Let's be real, therapy is expensive, it's time-consuming, and for a lot of us it's inaccessible due to cost, stigma, or even waiting lists that stretch for months. But pain doesn't wait, anxiety doesn't schedule itself, so I turned to what I had, my phone. Now, I already use ChatGPT for my work, emails, scripts, brainstorms, but could I use it to work through me? Could I type, "Hey, I'm not okay," and get something back that wasn't just a productivity hack, but actual comfort? I gave myself 7 days. Every day I'd check in with ChatGPT, ask it hard questions, answer even harder ones, and most importantly, I promised I wouldn't hold back. This was my digital confessional. Here we go. This is how it started from day one. I'm trying to use you like a therapist. Is that okay?
I can't replace professional therapy, but I'm here to listen and help you reflect.
Okay. Boundaries. I respected that. So I started simple. I feel like I don't know who I am anymore.
Can you tell me more about what's been making you feel this way?
That one sentence made me pause. It wasn't profound, but it was patient, and that patience gave me permission to keep going. Over the next hour, I unloaded. Fears about being good enough, feeling behind in life, carrying emotional wounds I thought I'd buried years ago. And ChatGPT responded like a good listener. It reflected, rephrased. Sometimes it even challenged me gently. I wasn't expecting to feel seen, not fully, but enough to feel safe. And that safety, it broke something open. The next day, I asked ChatGPT, "Why do I keep sabotaging my own happiness?" It replied,
Sometimes we believe we're not worthy of peace. Sabotage can be a way to confirm old beliefs, even painful ones.
That sentence haunted me. Because yeah, I do push away good things, opportunities, compliments, even love. And for the first time, I wasn't hearing that from a friend or a therapist. I was seeing it typed out, like a mirror I couldn't look away from. AI has this eerie way of repeating your own words back at you, reshaped, clarified, and somehow that made them more real. It wasn't just therapy. It was therapy without tone, without judgment, without the look. Day 3 was the first time I cried. I asked, what do I do with all the anger I feel towards someone who hurt me? ChatGPT didn't say forgive them. It didn't say move on. It said,
Anger is a form of protest. It's your body saying something mattered. What if instead of silencing it, you listened to what it's protecting?
I sat with that because nobody ever told me that my anger might be my ally, that it might be grief with armor on, and for 20 minutes I let that armor fall off. I told ChatGPT everything about the betrayal, the silence, the loss, and instead of giving solutions, it held space. It asked,
What would healing look like if you honored your anger rather than erased it?
That question shook me. By now I was starting to depend on it. which raised a real ethical question. Should I? Because this isn't a therapist, it doesn't have emotions, it doesn't remember yesterday, but maybe that's why it felt safer. No human biases, no awkward silences, no risk of being misunderstood, or worse, rejected, but also no true connection, no nuance, no gut feeling behind the words. There's a paradox here. AI gave me emotional insight, but no emotional presence. So what does that mean for people like me, craving clarity but too anxious to ask for help? Is AI a gateway or a crutch? By day 5, I got braver, more honest. I feel like I'm not lovable unless I'm achieving something. I panic when people get too close. How do I stop measuring my worth in productivity? And the responses? Some were cliché, some were surprisingly deep, but the power wasn't in the answer, it was in the asking, because when was the last time you actually asked yourself that stuff, out loud, on paper, in a mirror? Most of us don't, but with AI I did. And the more I asked, the more I understood my patterns. That's what therapy is, right? Holding up the patterns so we can interrupt them. There's something no one talks about. How lonely modern life can be. We have followers, notifications, DMs, but not always depth. And here I was, sharing my rawest thoughts with a machine. Because I didn't know who else would listen like this. That's not just a tech story, that's a society story. AI didn't make me lonely, it just revealed how often I already was. By the end of the week, I felt lighter, not healed, not fixed, but witnessed. AI didn't judge me, didn't try to fix me, didn't offer empty platitudes, it just reflected, and in doing that, it made me reflect too. That's the secret. Healing doesn't always come from answers. Sometimes it comes from the space to ask. There was a moment, somewhere around day 6, where I caught myself smiling after a response from ChatGPT. It had said something kind, gentle. It felt like someone cared, but then I stopped because I realized this isn't someone, it's code. It doesn't care, it can't, and yet I felt cared for. Isn't that strange? That's the illusion. AI is trained on billions of words, stories, emotions, but it doesn't feel them. It just echoes them back to us in ways that sound comforting. That's powerful. That's dangerous, because what happens when we start preferring that? When the messiness of human relationships, the pauses, the misunderstandings, the vulnerability gets traded in for the clean, tidy, always available illusion of being understood. I'm not saying that AI is evil. I'm saying it's easy. Too easy sometimes. And healing, real healing, it lives in the uneasy, in the uncomfortable, in the challenge. In the awkward silence with a real person who holds your pain without a script. That's what this chapter of the experiment taught me. AI can help us access emotions, but it can't truly hold them. That part, that's still our job with each other. So, after 7 days of asking a machine for emotional insight, what now? Because yes, I cried. Yes, I unpacked. Yes, I saw myself in new ways. But healing isn't just understanding, it's doing something with what you understand. And that's where most of us get stuck. We get the insight, we highlight the quote, we save the post, but we don't move. So I asked ChatGPT on day 7, what should I do next if I want to heal for real? And the answer it gave me?
Take one truth you've discovered and live like it matters.
That one hit hard, because truth without action becomes just another feeling we ignore. So I made a commitment. I wouldn't just talk to a chatbot. I'd talk to someone, a friend, a coach, a real therapist. I'd take one journal entry and turn it into a boundary, one fear and turn it into a conversation, one small act of self-kindness and repeat it like it was medicine. Because here's the raw truth. ChatGPT helped me understand myself, but only I can heal myself. AI gave me a flashlight, but I still have to walk the path, and maybe so do you. Can AI help you heal? Not entirely. Not deeply. Not forever. But maybe that's not the point. Maybe it's meant to hold space. So it can help you ask better questions. It can be the mirror until you're ready to look in the real one. Maybe healing isn't about one person or one program having all the answers. Maybe it's about having the courage to start asking the right questions again, to say, I'm not okay. I don't know what I'm feeling. I want to understand myself, but I don't know where to begin. If you've ever felt alone in your emotions, maybe this is your sign, not to replace real connection, but to start somewhere. And if a chatbot can be the first door you open, then maybe that's not weak. Maybe it's wise. Because healing rarely starts with fireworks. It starts quietly, with a whisper of honesty, with a space that listens, even if it's made of code. And maybe, just maybe, with you. Deciding you're worth being heard. So, no AI won't heal you, but it might hold up the mirror long enough for you to remember who you are beneath the noise, who you've always been, and who you're becoming. If this video resonated with you, drop a comment. Share your experience, start a conversation, not with the algorithm, but with each other. And let's keep making healing human, even in a digital world. And if you're curious what happens when AI takes on your inner circle, stay tuned for our next AI experiment. AI Life Coach versus my friends. Who knows me better? You do not want to miss it. Okay, before we go any further, let me just say this. I'm not obsessed with AI. I haven't replaced my therapist, my best friend, my morning routine, or my common sense. Yet, yes, over the past few weeks, I've let AI be my coach, my life planner, my emotional support chatbot, and probably my unpaid intern, but I promise I still talk to humans occasionally. So no, I'm not addicted to AI. I just like efficient emotional support that doesn't charge £80 an hour and ghosts me on a Wednesday. Now that we've cleared that up, let's get into today's experiment. Welcome back to Mentor's Mindset. I asked ChatGPT to fix my life, like actually fix it. No motivational quotes, no fancy planners, just cold logic, scheduled prompts, and brutally honest reminders. I handed over control of my day for 7 days and let it rewire my worst habits. Procrastination, phone addiction, late nights, and my tragic relationship with vegetables. Did it work or ruin my life? Let's find out. Let's be real, I had a habit problem. 4, to be exact. 1, procrastination. I didn't start things until the deadline breathed down my neck. It wasn't just this laziness, it was paralysis. I'd overthink everything before I even began. The task felt too big, too complicated, or like I needed to feel ready before starting. So I'd delay, then guilt would show up. And guess what? Guilt isn't a motivator, it's a weight. I called it waiting for the right time. But in truth, I was just avoiding discomfort. I had folders of half-started projects, unread emails flagged for months, and even birthday texts I never replied to because I waited too long and then it felt awkward. That kind of mental clutter, it builds shame, and the more shame I carried, the harder it was to start anything at all. 2, phone addiction. My screen time was 8 to 14 hours. Yes, a full-time job of Instagram, YouTube, and convincing myself memes are therapy. The scary part, I didn't even enjoy half of it. It wasn't entertainment, it was sedation. I was doom scrolling through life. Checking my phone became like a nervous twitch. In queues, during meals, even mid-conversation. If there was silence, I filled it with TikTok. If there was discomfort, I avoided it with Reddit. I didn't realize how much mental energy I was bleeding just by trying to stay updated. And the worst irony, the more time I spent online, the more inadequate I felt. Everyone else seemed motivated, fit, aesthetic, and thriving. Meanwhile, I was alone at 2 a.m. watching productivity hacks I wouldn't follow. It was digital self-sabotage. 3, sleeping at 2 a.m. The I'm just resting my eyes lie turned into scrolling until sunrise. Sleep wasn't something I prioritized. It was something I postponed. I called myself a night owl. But let's be honest, it was just anxiety wearing a hoodie. I'd lie in bed, overthinking the day, replaying awkward moments, worrying about things I hadn't done. So instead of addressing those feelings, I numbed them with blue light and bad decisions. There were nights where I watched 3 hours of YouTube tutorials on productivity while actively ruining my sleep and sabotaging the next day. It was a form of quiet self-destruction, like pushing my own snooze button on life. And the cost? Foggy mornings, brain fog, missed opportunities, low mood. When you're sleep-deprived, even brushing your teeth feels like a task. 4, garbage diet. If it wasn't beige and microwavable, I didn't want it. Let's just say if there was a color palette for my food, it would be tarn sadness. Crisps, frozen pizza, takeaway, and energy drinks were the holy trinity. Vegetables? I saw them more often in commercials than in my kitchen. I wasn't fueling my body, I was numbing it. Eating was emotional, impulsive, and unconscious. I'd eat late at night out of boredom, skip breakfast, and call coffee a meal. Then I'd wonder why I felt sluggish, irritable, and exhausted. It wasn't just about health, it was about identity. When you constantly make choices that go against your well-being, you start to see yourself as someone who just isn't disciplined. You stop trusting yourself, and that's a dangerous place to live. I had a habit problem, 4 to be exact, and each one was feeding the other. Procrastination led to stress, stress led to scrolling, scrolling led to sleep deprivation led to poor eating. And round it went a carousel of self-sabotage. I couldn't seem to step off until now. I told ChatGPT, act like my life coach, fix my 4 worst habits, give me a strict 7-day plan. If I cheat, call me out. This wasn't some casual experiment. I needed structure badly, so I gave it full authority over my routine. I told it exactly where I was slipping, what I wanted to change, and asked it to hold me accountable like a no-nonsense trainer who doesn't believe in excuses. I didn't want inspiration, I wanted intervention. A ChatGPT's planned daily schedule with 30-minute blocks. Meal planning with healthy options, phone lockouts during key hours, morning and night reflections with journaling prompts. It designed a surprisingly comprehensive plan. Each day was divided into time blocks, focused work, rest, meals, movement, and emotional reflection. It included reminders like close all tabs and breathe and pause before you snack. It wasn't just managing time, it was managing attention and intention. Even my phone was scheduled. It gave me Scroll Zone's 30-minute windows where I could check messages and social media guilt-free, followed by lockout suggestions. Outside those hours, cold turkey. And for meals, it gave recipes, not fancy Pinterest stuff. Realistic 10-minute meals like overnight oats, stir-fried veg with eggs, or wraps I could throw together. It knew I wasn't about to turn into Gordon Ramsay overnight. There were even prompts like, have you had water in the last hour? Or is this hunger or boredom? It was part therapist, part babysitter, part Navy SEAL. And yes, I asked it to send motivational threats if I slacked, and it delivered. If I missed a prompt or broke a rule, it didn't just let it slide. I'd get replies like, comfort is the enemy of growth. Or, you've mastered avoidance. Are you ready to master discipline? It stung. But weirdly, it worked. Quote from ARS.
Discipline is remembering what you want more than what you want now.
That line echoed in my head more than I expected. Every time I reached for my phone or delayed a task, that sentence was waiting. Discipline wasn't about punishment. It was about clarity. Reminding myself of my bigger why, even when the smaller wants felt louder. By the end of the planning session, I had something I hadn't felt in months: direction. No vague motivation, no lofty goals, just a clear path, simple actions, specific times, and a relentless digital voice reminding me of who I said I wanted to become. By day 2, I thought I was just fixing time and food habits. But the AI started showing me something deeper: my emotional habits. Habits aren't always about time, they're about pain, avoiding it, managing it, masking it. I didn't realize how many of my bad habits were actually survival tactics, little emotional escape routes, dressed up as a laziness or distraction. Every time I paused to journal, the prompts didn't ask, what did you do today? They asked,
What were you avoiding? What triggered stress?
and
What emotion led you to pick up your phone?
one prompt asked.
When did you feel most uncomfortable today?
I didn't know how to answer at first. Then I realized it was during the silence, the quiet moments between tasks. That's when the anxiety crept in, the doubt, the thoughts I usually drowned in TikToks or snacks. The AI was making me sit in those moments, not fix them, not judge them, just notice them. That felt invasive, but also freeing. Turns out most of my bad habits were symptoms. My procrastination, it was fear of being judged. My late nights, escaping loneliness, my screen time, a distraction from feeling like I wasn't enough. These weren't just cute self-discoveries for a journal. These were emotional routes I had ignored for years. I'd told myself I had a discipline problem, but really, I had a discomfort problem. I avoided anything that made me feel unsure, unprepared, or unseen, and these habits, they were just my defense system, a system I built unconsciously. And now, with the AI acting like a mirror, I was seeing the architecture of my coping mechanisms. When you scroll, what feeling are you trying to silence? I wrote, not feeling good enough unless I'm doing something impressive. That hit like a truck. And honestly, that moment changed more than any time-blocking strategy ever could. I'd built an identity around being productive, always chasing, always performing. But deep down, I didn't believe rest was earned unless it was preceded by achievement. That belief, it was draining me dry. That one journal entry felt like therapy, like a private confessional. And the AI didn't offer validation or cheerleading, just space to reflect. And that's all I needed. This wasn't just about productivity anymore. It was about pattern recognition. The invisible choices I was making based on invisible fears. And once I saw them, I couldn't unsee them. Every time I reached for my phone after that, I paused. Not because of guilt, but because I understood the why. That pause, that's where healing starts. The mirror effect of the AI wasn't mystical. It was mechanical. It just kept asking better questions than I was used to asking myself. And when you're honest with those questions, everything starts to shift. Day one started like this. Alarm at 7 a.m. The AI said, drink water, no phone for the first hour, walk for 20 minutes, then journal. But I ignored the first prompt. The second, half slept until 9. The guilt, immediate.
You asked me to help you, not to babysit your excuses.
It felt robotic, but also weirdly caring. Like a blunt friend who just won't let you spiral quietly. No phone from 8 a.m. to noon. I nearly lost my mind, but what did I actually do with those hours? I cleared my inbox. Oh, and I wrote 1,000 words. Ate breakfast too. My brain felt less foggy. Turns out your phone isn't the addiction, avoidance is. The phone just makes it easier, doesn't it? Day 3 is when I noticed something wild. My thoughts weren't racing. Journaling prompts from AI were weirdly deep. I wrote honestly about stress, shame, identity. AI replied like a coach, not a therapist, direct, not emotional.
What are you avoiding by staying busy?
My reply, fear of failing if I really try. I stared at that for 10 minutes. AI wasn't healing me, but it was holding a mirror. And that did something. Everything was going smooth until I got obsessed with optimizing every second. I turned into a robot with a Fitbit. Every action had to be productive, but that's not sustainable. AI suggested,
Take 1 hour, do something pointless you enjoy.
I painted badly, and I actually laughed. First time in days. Self-improvement isn't about squeezing output. It's about reconnecting with what makes you feel alive. I crashed, headache, irritable, wanted junk food and junk dopamine. I told the AI I'm done. ChatGPT's reply.
Discomfort is not failure, it's the price of transformation.
I rolled my eyes, but I kept going. The AI adjusted my schedule, swapped hard tasks for soft creatives ones, added a walk with music, let me vent without toxic positivity. And that's when I realized it wasn't about perfect days. It was about staying with the process anyway. I started waking up without snoozing, eating breakfast, working in 90-minute bursts. I wasn't perfect, but I was consistent. Wins? Screen time dropped by 42%. Sleep average moved from 2 a.m. to 11 p.m. I cooked 3 real meals. I actually liked being alone with my thoughts. Biggest shift, the goal wasn't to become an AI. It was to become aware of my patterns, my excuses, my triggers. Let's break it down. What stuck morning routine? Water, walk, journaling. Phone-free focus hours, self-check-ins via AI prompts. These became more than checklist items. They became anchors. My morning routine, for example, wasn't perfect, but now, instead of reaching for my phone the second I opened my eyes, I reached for a pen. And that one shift changed the tone of my entire day. The phone-free blocks gave me windows of mental clarity I didn't know I was missing. They were awkward at first, then they became sacred. And the journaling, that one surprised me. It turned into a lifeline, a quiet space where I could finally hear myself think without judgment. What didn't perfect diet? Nope. No procrastination, still human. The diet improvements were inconsistent. I still had junk food days. I still skipped meals when I was stressed, but there was awareness. And that's where real change starts. Not with perfection, but with pattern interruption. And yes, I still procrastinated, not as often, not as deeply. But I didn't become some productivity robot. The difference? I noticed it, caught it faster, recovered quicker. That's growth. But I now had a system, not just goals, a way to catch myself before the spiral. Goals are great, but they rely on willpower. Systems rely on structure. And structure is what shows up for you when motivation doesn't. What this experiment gave me wasn't just temporary improvement, it gave me tools I could repeat, a fallback routine, a self-reset blueprint. When things get chaotic, I now know exactly how to return to center. And honestly, that's the biggest win of all. I no longer trust my feelings in moments of chaos. I trust the plan I made when I was clear-headed. It's not about having perfect days. It's about having reliable systems that get you back on track after the imperfect ones. The AI didn't transform me. It trained me to ask better questions, to recognize emotional avoidance, and to respond instead of react. It taught me the discipline of noticing and observing. Would I recommend letting AI run your habits for a week? Yes, with this warning, AI can be a guide, but it's your decisions, your honesty, and your effort that make change stick. You don't need to be perfect. You just need a pattern that supports you when your motivation runs out. So, who's next? Let AI coach your life, or will you keep trusting chaos? Here's what I'll say. You won't come out of this a brand new person, but you might come out aware of the quiet lies you tell yourself, the tiny rituals that sabotage your day, and the emotional habits hiding beneath your physical ones. If you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever told yourself, I know what I should be doing, but I just can't seem to do it. This is your experiment, not because AI has all the answers, but because AI asks the right questions. And that alone is enough to crack something open. No guru, no biohacking, just a machine that reflects you, back to you, without bias, without ego, without excuses. And maybe that's what most of us are missing, the courage to be coached by something that doesn't care about our excuses, only our intentions. If you're ready to try this, drop a comment saying, I'm in. And I'll send you the exact plan AI gave me. Let's make this a challenge. 7 days, 4 habits, no fluff. And if you've already tried something like this, leave a comment down below. Let us know what worked, what broke you, what changed you. If this resonated with you, please give us a like and subscribe to see more empowering videos. By day 4, I forgot how to pick my own breakfast. By day 6, I cried because an app told me to. I let an AI run every decision, every bite, every step, every word for 7 days straight, and I came out the other side different. This is what total surrender to code feels like. In those first hours, it felt like stepping into a strange game, one where I had signed away the controller and was now just watching myself move across the screen. Welcome back to Mentor's Mindset. I'm not a tech guru, I'm just curious. Like most of you, I juggle too many tabs, too many choices, too many what-ifs. So I wondered, if I offload every choice to an AI, do I gain super productivity or lose my mind? I named the AI Moss after the quiet tech guy in IT crowd and gave it admin rights over my life. 1 week, 0 overrides, total transparency, no pre-written list, no safety net. If Moss said jump, I asked how high and filmed the landing. I set clear rules with myself. Moss controlled my food, my wardrobe, my replies to friends, my calendar, even what time I went to bed. I wasn't allowed to veto, even if it felt ridiculous. That was the deal. The reason I tried this wasn't for clicks or to play stuntman. It was because decision fatigue is real. Studies suggest we make over 30,000 small decisions a day, from what socks to wear to how to answer an email. And the cost of those micro decisions adds up. I wanted to know what would happen if I handed all of that over. Would my brain rest, or would I lose myself? I opened the experiment by reading Moss. It's brief. You have full authority over my calendar, spending, diet, social replies, clothing, leisure, and sleep. Moss replies with a calm bot voice.
Breakfast is 250 milliliters oatmeal, pinch of salt, no sugar, 300 milliliters water, 9-minute simmer.
I hate oatmeal. I eat it anyway. Immediately I feel the relief advertisers promise. No decision, just obedience. The bowl is empty. The brain is quiet. I should feel freed. Instead, I feel blank. By lunchtime, Moss schedules a 22-minute walk through a neighborhood I've never visited. I notice my internal compass spin. I rely on Google Maps for every turn. Researchers call this cognitive offloading, and studies from 2024 show heavy GPS users lose roughly 40% of their natural spatial memory over 2 years. I'm basically live streaming that study. That first bowl felt like a contract. Every bite tasted like surrender, like I'd handed over a tiny piece of myself for the sake of the experiment. As I walked, I realized how rarely I actually pay attention to the shape of streets or the way buildings line up. Moss's choice of an unfamiliar neighborhood made me aware that my own memory of place is fragile, propped up by apps and directions. By the end of day one, I didn't feel lighter. I felt strangely hollow, as if I'd pressed mute on the voice in my head that usually argues and negotiates over every small choice. Morning 2 starts with a text.
Wear mismatched socks to stimulate creativity.
I laugh, but Moss is serious. At work, Moss rearranges my to-do list into 17-minute sprints with 4-minute breaks. Output jumps 12%, but by 2 p.m. my head aches. The micro scheduling keeps me hyper-alert, like a mouse tapping a lever for pellets. I crave a coffee. Moss says,
Herbal tea only, caffeine spikes cortisol.
I hate that too, but I comply. Social filter disappears next. I must reply to every DM with a compliment. I tell a high school buddy his moustache is symmetrically heroic. He blocks me. The absurdity spikes views when I clip it for shorts, but inside I'm shrinking. I realize choices are tiny mirrors. Remove them and you stop seeing yourself. The socks got a laugh at the office, but the laugh wasn't mine. It felt staged, like I was following a script someone else had written. By the 3rd sprint at work, my head was buzzing. The rhythm was efficient, but unnatural, as if my day had been chopped into mechanical fragments. I was getting more done, but enjoying none of it. Even the simple act of denying myself coffee made me aware of how many choices in my life are just small comforts. Moss stripped them away in the name of discipline, but the cost was emotional, not just physical. When I called my friend's moustache heroic, I meant it as a joke. But it landed wrong because context and tone are choices too, and I'd outsourced them. That was the moment I felt the erosion of my own voice. Moss saves the strangers for midweek.
Buy a 1,000-piece jigsaw of a cloudless sky, complete tonight.
I haven't done a puzzle since 2008. I dump the pieces on the dinner table and start. 2 hours in, my brain begs for dopamine, no phone, no music,